It is Dawn Jacobson with Fyrefly, and I help purpose-driven women entrepreneurs with big missions to confront the fears and blocks that are keeping them back from living the lifestyle of freedom and creating the income that they need in order to impact the world in a big way. So today's video is continuing along onto the series that we've been doing, which is Step into Purpose. And this week, we are talking about money and mindset, or mindset and money. So yesterday, I did post a 20-minute video that talked about how purpose is tied to money. And the video got a lot of engagement on it. So if you didn't get a chance to see it, please feel free to pull that up. You can find it by doing the hashtag Step into Purpose. Step into Purpose is something that I'm going to be doing all month for the month of August. And what that is I am peeling back the layers on how I have been able to build my online business so successfully, so quickly. And I've learned some things along the way as I've gone forward, and I just wanted to share those with you and kind of open the book for you and let you know what those are. So for tonight, what I would like to talk about on the money and mindset tangent that we're talking about, or that particular part of the series, is that I wanted to talk about how trade for services is undermining your business. And my thoughts have changed about this over time. As I have been in different businesses and built different businesses over the years, some of them being product businesses, some of them being service businesses, my mindset has changed as I have come into the online arena. And what I am finding is that trade for services is something that really breaks down the foundation of your business if you're a service business, especially if you're a coach or somebody who is providing a professional service. And the reason that this is, well, first of all, let's back up a little bit and say, I do believe that there is a time and a purpose for trade for services or for bartering. And the time for trade for services is when we are in a disaster situation. So I would have to say, though, that I don't think, such a disaster situation has been in the United States since probably the 1920s, when the Great Depression was around. I don't really think that the recession that we've had, although difficult, doesn't qualify really for a disaster or a survival situation. So as we go along that mind or that thought process there, let's think about that for a moment. So, in the United States and in most other, countries across the world, the UK, Australia, to name a few, we pretty much have the ability and freedom to be able to build any business that we desire, as long as we have the resources and we're able to provide business in a moral way. We're free to pretty much build any kind of business we have. And this is an interesting thought, because as you think about a mindset of abundance and wealth consciousness and those types of things, and we move more and more into thinking that way, thinking that we have the supply of everything that we need and we don't have to live in a mindset of lack. We really, I think, need to take a look at the fact that in those countries, in the United States, in countries like that, we live in wealth. Even though we live in wealth, most of us still have a mindset of lack. And so because of our mindset of lack, we begin thinking, well, I can't afford that, or they can't afford that, so I should trade whatever it is that I'm doing and trade my service for their service. And doesn't that really make sense? It makes sense because, that way we just kind of don't even have to talk about money, because, I don't like to talk about money anyway, and we get to avoid that whole issue, and then it's just nice and happy, and I get to give them something, and they give me something, and we think that it's going to be all so simple. But let's take a look at this in another in another frame of mind. So let's say that you go into, a department store, Target, Nordstrom's, whatever. And you see there that there is this fabulously beautiful, beautiful outfit there. I mean, it's a beautiful ball gown. And you have this very important engagement that you have to be at, or appointment, dance or whatever it is, an engagement. I can't think of another word right now. So, you have this thing that you need to go to, and you see this beautiful dress, and you're like, oh my gosh, the dress is $1,500 or whatever it is, $5,000, whatever. There's no way I can come up with the money to afford that dress, but I need the dress. So here's what I'm going to do. I am going to let the store know that I really, really, really need this dress. And I think that they'll understand that I really need the dress, because after all, they're a business. And so, they'll take into consideration the fact that I have this thing I need to go to, and I really need something nice to wear. So in return for them letting me have the dress, I'll let them know that I'll come in and I'll sweep the floor and I'll mop. I'll do their books for them. And I think they'll be good with that. So you take the dress down and you get it off the hanger, the mannequin or whatever, and you start to go out of the store with it, and you right before you get to the door, the security guard comes up to you and he's like, ma'am, where are you going? And you're like, well, here's the deal. I really need this dress. I have this thing that I need to do. It's super important and I can't miss it. So I thought that I would take the dress and then I could help the store out by doing whatever it is that you need done. And I have some gifts and talents that I could offer to you in return for that. And the security guard looks at you and he's like, yeah, I don't think so. You can pay for the dress or you can put it back. And you're like, well, I don't understand. I don't understand, why that is. Why? I mean, I'm going to give you something in return for that. And he's like, well, let's think about that. So let's think about that. Let's translate that into our services. So this is something that we have no problem doing. I mean, we look at that in a grand scheme, know that it wouldn't work in a setting like that, but we have no problem doing it within our normal everyday business. In our business, we think somehow there's a separation between what they do in a business or a big business or a corporation, and that it's different than what we do in our place. So let's carry this a little bit further. Let's think about maybe that the store does let you do that. The department store lets you go ahead. They let people, do trade for services. So then you have one day, you decide that you want to go in, and you do have the finances. You do have the finances. Things are going well, and you go in and you decide that you want to pick up a new pair of jeans, and you really need a new pair of jeans. And so you go over there and you look at the pile of jeans and you say, oh, I really like this pair. I try them on, and then you start noticing that there's like 50 or 80 people in the store, and they're just kind of hanging around doing various tasks. They're sweeping the floor, rearranging the clothing, making sure that things are all, where they ought to be. And they're doing a good job of it. They're doing a good job of what they're doing for the store. But you start to notice that then they have to have more management. The store has more management around because they need to make sure that these people are doing their jobs. And that they're making sure that the clothes are folded properly for the brand of the store, and that the sign is hung right, and that the advertising has the right word on it, and that the books are done according to the standard of the store. And you start to notice that all these people are causing a lot of drag on the bottom line of the store. So let's take that story again back down to your own business. Why is it that we think that trade for services is something that is going to help us out. That it's going to help us out and it's going to help the other person out when we're not in a survival situation. Well, to be honest, trade for services or bartering causes a lot more overhead than you really think that it does, because the person is not working with you according to a set standard that you have put into place or a system that you have into place for your other clients. They're kind of out of the norm. So not only is that causing a stress on your business system, it's also causing a stress on you psychologically, because you have to be thinking about, okay, well, I have to deal with these people this certain way. These are my clients, my paying clients, but I have to deal with these people in a whole nother way. And usually the people that you're bartering with they tend to have a little bit closer relationship to you. So not only are you bartering with them, but you are also now bringing in closer relationships, which also causes issues in a business relationship, to bring friendship into a business relationship, or even a close associate into a business relationship. And so this happens on a regular basis. And the reason that it happens is mostly because we don't want to talk about money. We don't want to deal with money. We don't come from a mindset of abundance with money, thinking about the fact that money is energy and a transfer of value from one creative service to another creative service. Instead of thinking about that, we think, well, yeah, money's scary, and I don't ever have enough of that stuff. So all this trade for services, without thinking about the fact that this is going to cause a huge drag on our business. So not only does trade for services bog down your business that way, but it also keeps you from being able to say, this is what my worth is. My worth is X amount of dollars. My hours are worth this amount of money. And so as you venture into bartering relationships or trade for service relationships, you are subconsciously not reinforcing the fact that this is the pricing that you have set in order to make your business run and to get a return on investment, because you're worried about not facing money. So just some things that I wanted you to think about as you watch the video, and think about what your inclination is to trade for services. Why is it that we want to trade for services? Why is it that that's our almost at the beginning, that's usually our default? It's like, well, I'm afraid of money, and I don't know what that means, and I'm not going to get enough money, and this person doesn't have enough money, so let's just not talk about it at all, and we'll just trade services. All the while not thinking about how that's really going to affect your bottom line. So just some things to think about as you watch the video tonight, like I said. And if you have any questions at all, please feel free to email me. I will put the links down below the video. And I also am offering some free discovery sessions that you can get in on with me in order to kind of, pick my brain about where it is or how I have achieved what I've achieved. And even though the discovery session is not free coaching, and I do like to look at it as a decision-making session, because again, I do feel that it's imperative for us to make a decision about money. It's not like if you decide today that you don't want to do it, that tomorrow is going to be any easier to do it. So I'm getting off on a tangent here, but what I'm trying to say is that, if you want to pick my brain about how sales works, how bottom line works, if you're having an issue with getting away from trade for services, I would love to talk with you, and you can check my calendar, and we can set up a half-hour time to kind of talk about if you're ready to move on from that mindset or not, and if I'd be the right person to help you with that. The other thing I wanted to leave you with is that I do host a Facebook group, a private Facebook group for women leaders and entrepreneurs to come together and encourage one another, to share with one another, and to develop that mindset of abundance, and to really step into their purpose and calling, and to impact the world in the way that they desire, and to have other women around them that are spurring them on in that. So that's it for tonight for mindset and money and stepping into purpose. I hope that you enjoy the video. I'd love to hear from you. Peace out, girls. I love you.